Are you looking for a tasty game for 2 players? Well, Le Chocolat is about chocolate, so what's more tasty than that? Let's jump into this brand new 2-player only game from Allplay, who did provide it to me for the review. I'll go over how it plays and then give you some pros and cons to let you know if you should be adding it to your collection. Let's jump into it. Playing in around 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to start by setting up the chocolate bar, of course. There are 36 chocolate tiles included, and you'll be using 35 of them to make a 7x5 grid, the chocolate bar that you're, well, going to want to be eating. Before you kick things off, you'll take one of the scoring cards and just put it in sight of all players. You'll notice from the pictures that some of the chocolate tiles, they're plain chocolate, while others have flavour, though it's not quite that clear cut. Some of the tiles have flavourings on both sides, some are plain chocolate on both sides, and some have a flavouring only on one. So when you're setting up and you're randomly flipping the tiles over to make that big chocolate bar, some of the flavourings might actually be face down, which is quite important for when it comes to scoring the chocolate that you've claimed. With the complete bar of chocolate in the middle, it's obviously time to start eating it, or at least claiming it by splitting it apart. On your turn, you can't be a chocolate heathen and just take a clump of those tiles. You need to do a clean break. After splitting, if there is a chunk of chocolate that is 3 or fewer chocolate tiles, you get to take it, sliding them over in front of you, and you can even take a cheeky peek at any of those plain chocolate tiles just in case there's flavourings on the reverse. In this claiming chocolate phase, if there's only one chunk of 3 or fewer chocolate tiles, you must take it. However, if there are more than one chunk of 3 or fewer tiles, you get to pick which chunk you're taking. The game keeps going like this, with the bar splitting apart, then the bits splitting into further chunks and then slowly being claimed until all of that chocolate is gone. At this point, you're going to reveal all of your flavoured chocolate. You can actually discard all your plain chocolate that's plain on both sides off to the side, and then looking at the scoring card, you can determine who wins. If we look at this scoring card as an example, you need a pair of the top 2 to score 2 points, where those pistachio green-like nut ones will actually lose you 1 point per tile. The orange slices, well, they're actually going to lose you 2 points if you have the majority, and then the final 2 will score you 3 points if you have the majority. That's how you play Le Chocolat, but should you be adding this I Split You Choose 2-player game to your collection? Well, let's start with the one small elephant in the room, that it's described as an I Split You Choose game often online, but it's not. It's more of an I Split I choose game. There are plenty of ways you can line opponents up to have a choice, maybe a bad choice, because the way you've split things, if they don't make a split, they're going to have to take something that's scoring them negatively. But it is still more you splitting and you choosing where you want to make that split that's hopefully going to be beneficial for you. I don't think it's a bad thing, but it does seem odd that it's described as I Split You Choose. What's not odd is the theming that works perfectly for this. It doesn't matter who I've put this game in front of on the table. Once you've made that big chocolate bar and you start saying and you split it apart, everyone intuitively knows that you would be breaking off like a line of chocolate, left, right, up, down, it doesn't matter. People intuitively get that, and I love it when a theme does that for what otherwise could be a rather abstract feeling game. And while the theme doesn't necessarily explain why the different flavourings of chocolate are all in one mega bar, it still does make sense that you are trying to collect certain flavours of the chocolate, and I think that's a really, again, cool aspect. One element that did surprise me a little bit about Le Chocolat is that it's very push your luck. Because some of those face down chocolate tiles actually have flavours on them on the other side, you can get to a stage where I'm not sure I want to risk taking any of those face down ones. I can't see any face up green pistachios, for example, and they're scoring negative in this round. So do I really want to risk taking some of those face down tiles that once I slide them over to me and take a look, maybe they're bad for me? I'm not sure I want to push my luck in that way. And that really does mean from one game to the next, you are going to be splitting and pushing your luck in different ways. I like that the scoring cards enable that you sometimes want to go for a set or a pairing of those different flavours, but I would say there are one or two of them that are just brutal when it comes to the negatives. Some of them it's like, oh, you lose 1 point here or there, but there is one in particular that gives you minus 10 points if you get the majority of a certain type. In that game, I took one of those face up, and while one tile is removed, it still gave me quite a lot of wiggle room when it came to getting the majority, but I still took 3 others face down from the sort of plain chocolate on one side, flavoured on the other. So I pushed my luck too much, and it was absolutely brutal. I got 0 points in that round simply because of that minus 10. And people will bounce off that in different ways. For me, it's annoying, but it's a short 5-10 minute experience. I'm not super frustrated, let's just build the chocolate back up, go again, but maybe change that scoring card. Other people might bounce off that more than me because of the amount of potential push your luck that the face down tiles and the scoring card combinations provide. That's for you to determine where you sit on that, but like I say, it's a quick 5-10 minute game, depending on if you're playing with someone brand new or not. You really can do like 3 games of this in under 20 minutes, but that level won't be for everyone. If I'm being nitpicky, there is one scoring card missing from the game, in my opinion. I love that each game is going to be different because of those scoring cards. But why are none of them referencing the just plain chocolate? You always slide just the plain on both sides chocolate tiles to the side and then score up. I would love to have seen it where one of the scoring cards just gave a point per blank chocolate, per plain chocolate. It would have just made that game really different, and it's just a bit surprising that that wasn't thought of. When it comes to small, quick games, one thing that sometimes they fall down on is box size. Not Le Chocolat. Nope, this box is tiny. You can definitely fit this in, well, a not so tight jeans pocket, but easily into a bag if you're going away or you're going to a friend's house or somewhere like that. You can throw it in and you've got that quick experience for you to pull out and play on the table. I would say, unlike other sort of this small size box card games or general board games, is that you won't be able to play this on a small area'd table. So you wouldn't be able to play it on like a train or an aeroplane table or something like that, because the actual bar of chocolate does need some room, not only when built but when split apart and stuff. But for portability, it certainly ticks the box. There's no denying that Le Chocolat is quick to play. As I've been saying throughout, this is a 5 to 10 minute experience, and to be honest, that 10 minutes is probably going to be only your first play when you're reading and teaching the rules included in the experience. You really can then just rapidly play, and often you will then, just with the other person on the table, go, yeah, shall we play again? It's a solid game that is over in just the right amount of time. You've split that chocolate apart, you've tried to make some little cheeky moves, maybe leaving a bad chunk of chocolate on the table for your opponent, maybe to take if they have to. And sometimes you've pushed your luck too much, sometimes you haven't, you've done it just right. But in that 5-10 minutes, you will have played a game and then probably reset to play again. But there you have it, Le Chocolat. I think it's a fun, solid game that is going to be slightly divisive. It's not I Split You Choose, but I really like the way you split that chocolate bar apart. Very sort of on theme there. It makes a lot of intuitive sense when you're teaching it and when you're just taking turns. Oh, I've got a small chunk there, I can take that off and hopefully it will be scoring me. People will bounce off how much that push your luck element impacts the game. How many of those face down tiles are maybe going to be negative, or I'm taking some and I'm just getting plain chocolate which doesn't do me anything. My opponent is taking some as well. Maybe it's scoring them really well because they've now got the majority in this. You'll bounce off that or not, depending on what sort of gamer you are. For me, it's a short game, so it's not as frustrating as if it would be in like a half an hour experience. But that is what I think of Le Chocolat. I think it's a fun, solid game, super fast, and if you get a chance to play it, I think you should. It will be at conventions this year at the Allplay stand, so go check it out. But let me know in the comment section below if you've had a chance to play it already. It was available for demo, for instance, at UK Games Expo. I'm sure it will be at Gen Con and other places. So if you've played the game, let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. And until next time, have a chocolate-filled good day. I need some chocolate.